fresh voices on the New York City spoken word poetry scene. Born and raised in the greater New York area with a BFA from the greatest school on the fucking planet, the University of Michigan. I'm biased, I'm sorry. I didn't go to school there, but that's my football team of all football teams. Go Blue, hell to the victors. Anyone want to sing the fight song? No, not yet, maybe later? Okay. Okay. With a BFA from the University of Michigan, she has been writing since the age of 11. Her major influences are family, Judaic culture, and what she considers the old New York City that she missed out on. Hip-hop rhythms and rock and roll tude fuel her work. She aspires to be in the moment, stay open-minded, and continue to affect and be affected by all people who live to create. Welcome to the Inspired Word stage as a feature tonight, Alana Zonan AKA Rue.
I tried to memorize these, but I worked so hard on them. If I miss a word, I'll be really pissed about it. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm really glad, I'm very privileged to be here, and I have 4 poems this evening. One I read at the Poetry Slam a few weeks ago, and the other 3 I haven't read and are pretty new. My style is pretty much, I like to think of it as like punk rock poetry. My biggest influence are the beat poets. I just really want to make poetry cool again. And it's starting with this American flag, and it ends with this poetry. And I really hope everyone else tonight walks out of here thinking like, wow, like, words are cool. I miss words fully spelled.
Not dead yet, thank God.
I mean, we're just getting there. So this first poem is called Your Future Looking Back, and it's one of my favorite poems. Who do you pray to once you dismiss God? I personally have preached to find the strength within oneself as opposed to begging, pleading, bargaining with someone else. When it's something bigger than you, both 100 years past and decades of the future involving many parties, how does one make the masses understand an otherwise stubborn foot opposition? Understand that they hold the cork to the flood, the corkscrew to the bottle, the oxygen breeze to heart, sock cradling heat for foot. Most of the time, listening is a verb and yet not an action. To the learned without a lesson, that lesson from the educated ignorant. Such a senseless scene. Mermaids with moonmen, text message in Sumerian, rock and roll Beethoven, Jewish and Christian, all opposites equaling X, trying to say the same thing, communicate the goal, or better yet, dare I say it, live in harmony. I miss the mother who raised me and the mother who wasn't there. The stroller I pedaled, pom-pom dresses, backyards, basketball games, concrete leaves in autumn. Igloos, neighbors, confidence that came from being carefree. The mother who brushed my hair into tails like a pony. Imagination. Scraped knees, secret hiding spots and fortresses. Cheese doodles and pickles, shooting stars and icicles. The irony of envying independence when your heart and mind couldn't even grasp. Shackles, ball and chains, drugs in veins, sin insane, snow devils, summer swelters, faux friendsters, empty couches, heavy slouches, fucked finding, backstabbing, nonchalant assholes. Those days in the tie-dye, dirt between toes, running recess, imaginary princess lifted to smiling status. They love you for who you were and not what you are, ballerina. They see the hole in the heel of your tights. They see the dust accumulating on the rim of your tutu. Too much bulge, and pink really no longer is your color. Best switch to black. Join the rest of the down and out loaded setbacks. Being born, is that what you really signed up for? How could you have known it would be like this? Torn to bits, veiny wrists, your future, seen and missed. So this next poem is actually kind of like a post-mortem love poem, which really is just my sad attempt at like a sweet poem. I'm trying to like get more in touch with like writing nicely. So this is that attempt at it. And this poem is called Sacrifice. When we broke up, I cried cemetery tears. Like blues music unrecorded, all my emotions were sorted into compartments of bad, worse, hurt, and discarded. Finger pointed at my head, replaying the last words we said. It's amazing how words take on new meaning when your life takes on new circumstances. I was so devastated. Perhaps maybe I still am. Although I value the friendship we have now, I'd be lying if I said I didn't choke on the thought of you with her. And not just her, but all the women who fall for your James Dean ways. My love for you was the ultimate sacrifice. Like an Aztec sacrifice, ripped my heart from chest without device, and shoved my body down the steps of your temple with complete disregard until your crops grow in my backyard, proving your love was worth every last drip of my blood. Make my spine divine so I'm held up by the soul of virtue, by the purity of loving you, and the Holy Spirit of life renewed. Am I beautiful yet? With a rib cage made of brittle, palms an open wound, chest bloody, veins dangling like severed telephone wires. Such sad things that transpired over the past 3 years. All that energy and sacrifice, and for what? To say that I've loved? To say that I've loved and lost? Is that really so much better? Because right now, all I can see is the letters N-O-T, followed by you, knowing that means me, back in the throne of alone and solitude, solitary confinement. Now when I come home, it's just silent. Because at the end of the day, no one is holding you but you. Not even Romeo and Juliet could get that die together shit right. Because there's always someone who has to pull the trigger first, push the sword in, first to swallow the poison. Does that mean I win? Left standing alive and yet alone, being queen of this castle sitting next to an empty throne. I'm gonna keep banging these out, and this one's not such a nice poem towards boys, and it's, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's just not easy. And this is a letter, and it mentions Chris Brown, but I don't think Gemineye wrote it, but it's pretty close. And appropriately, it's just called Boy. Dear boy, who shall remain nameless, but never faceless, remain broken and never fixed. Remain first impression, but never second. Always confident, but never intimate. Because I love boys, 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 boys I do adore. Dear boy, who took something more important than just my body, more important than my fat ass offering, more important than money, brains, wrists, and arms and veins. Hey boy, I may live in a studio apartment, but that doesn't make my bed an invitation just because you can see it from the entrance. Dear boy, who will always be a boy and never a man, who will never speak the truth, who will choose to sit and not stand because a boy reacts off fear, off his own protection, off women not deserving his slightest affection, his attention, who counts the hours he waits until he sends text messages, who throws a condom at your face because to a boy, plan B is always plan A if it means satisfaction, who doesn't tell you you're pretty as a strategic plan of action. Dear boy, who doesn't appreciate the rhyme of words but plays sports, who doesn't understand Bob Dylan but plays sports, who says he'll cook you dinner but instead plays sports, who doesn't get what's wrong with Chris Brown and whores himself around when he's not playing sports. Dear boy, who shall remain nameless because you're as insignificant as no other metaphor, because any simile I would compare you to, I promise, is worth more. Dear boy, who didn't realize he was dealing with not just an adult, but a woman, a human being. This poem is for you, but you're probably not even listening. At least I am. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. This last poem is dedicated to a lot of my coworkers that came out tonight. Thank you so much for coming to support me. This is my my favorite subject, and it's day jobs. And I know that a lot of people I work with don't, really come out to do the spoken word thing, and I'm so appreciative that you guys have come out to acknowledge what's good with the English language, and
What's good?
and so I just appreciate it. And this poem is called Advertising Village, or Advil for short. I need some Advil when it comes to working in Advil. When you're only as good as your next campaign, it's like a camp of pain. The things they critique are insane, no shame, free reign, money train. But hey, I can't complain. This is what a college education is worth, right? Sleepless nights, lost relationships, and feelings of despite. Of sellouts and regret, self-disrespect, so much to say and yet nothing to get. The head honchos with ancestral dynamics maintain a crooked tongue and rotting teeth glued to dead gums, shirts unbuttoned, pants too tight. The girly girls get promoted and the poets are asked to get out of sight. I wish they would let me suggest something, but here in Advil, all the houses are the same, just paint their doors different colors, all in bed with each other. While people like me are outside mowing the lawn in an attempt to give the ad execs what they want. An industry full of secrets leaves a boss without bereavement, nights at the rectangular table, all armor and no intellect, while the girl behind the curtain gets the shaft and the bullshit. Trim the fat so the public can see how skinny you ought to be. I don't even know how Advil survived without Photoshop. The human body somehow got cropped, and now we look at ourselves thinking about everything we're not. Shit. I need to take some Advil here in Advil. But that will just numb the thoughts. I need to remember the forget-me-nots and the who-I-ams. Fuck pharmaceutical drugs. They can't make me remember who I am. I'm the girl who writes poetry but doesn't slam, 'cause man, we are all in this together. And I'm not here to make you feel worse but better. Not so much turned on but a little bit wetter. As a girl in a man's world, I'm a trendsetter. I've surpassed the lines of a mere go-getter. See me signing my own paycheck letters. You may have my 9 to 7, but I'm living for me forever. And I invite you to join me. To let go of what's real and enter nothing is what it seems. To tear life up at the seams and use the doors of perception to talk to Jim Morrison and find yourself. Find that person who will love your mental as well as your physical curves. And swerve right past the aisle of Advil and just think. Think of you, who you are, and who are you. Unfortunately, if you're anything like me, then I'm afraid Advil has sucked you in too.
Clap it up one more time for Rue.
Yeah.